Challenge. Why would anybody want to look at their pictures on a television set? How are you going to store these things? What's an electronic album going to look like? And the big one was, when is it going to be a consumer reality? That one I got asked every time. Came up between 15 and 20 years, which was a long time for somebody sitting in a conference room looking at this prototype.
Say cheese.
As it turned out, his prediction was not too far off, and what happened at Kodak is now a hard lesson in technology that will be studied for years. Today in Kodak's hometown of Rochester, New York, George Eastman's company is a much different place. The full consumer switch to digital photography took less than a decade, and the once very profitable film business shrank. More than 100,000 Kodak employees worldwide have lost their jobs. Staying ahead of a technological curve is hard enough. Catching up after falling behind is far more difficult. You could say George Eastman's company missed the ultimate Kodak moment.
Kodak sat on top of a mountain of cash and profitability in their traditional photography business. And I believe their thinking was, digital photography will eat into my traditional, most profitable business. What I think Kodak miscalculated about was they weren't in charge of whether that would happen. Consumers were in charge. Individuals were in charge. And so now they are attempting a transformation in a very weakened state, and they may have missed their season of change.
The switch to everything digital has a profound impact on institutions that struggle to adapt, and none have been hit harder than the newspaper industry. Newspapers have been written, printed, and sold for over 400 years, but now that business model is in danger. The internet has changed the way people consume news. This new method of posting stories and advertisements is crippling newspapers around the country. Publications depend upon the relationship between writers, advertisers, and readers, and anything that isn't one of those three components, like paper in this case, is just excess. A company that many claim has had a profound effect on the so-called old media, and with a value estimated at over $1 billion, is in an unassuming house in San Francisco. Jim Buckmaster is the CEO of Craigslist.
Craig started Craigslist as an email list in '95, sending out event listings to his friends and coworkers.
This is the kingdom that is Craigslist in all its glory.
Well, when I came in, the site was running on a single PC. It was getting something like, I think, 8 or 10 million page views per month. Now, of course, we're on 200 or so servers, each one of which is probably 10,000 the power of the one it was on back in '99, 2000.
Now, with 8 billion page views a month, Craigslist operates in over 450 cities worldwide. From personal ads to jobs to the junk you just want to get rid of, the online classified site founded by Craig Newmark provides the means to advertise anything. Usually, a company experiencing explosive growth means massive hiring and a parking lot of Ferraris. With only 24 employees, however, Craigslist continues with their plan to keep it simple.
I think the goal has really stayed the same from what it was originally, which is just to provide a helpful service to as many people as possible, largely for free.
So you're what, like communists?
Oh, the business press actually has used a lot of those kind of adjectives to describe me and describe us. They've used communist, socialist, anarchist, and a lot of other ones. But they just don't have good adjectives to describe a business that doesn't seek to maximize financial performance. We could certainly be making probably 10 million or more per month by putting text ads and other kinds of ads on the site because there's so much traffic. But we don't consider it because our users haven't asked us to put ads on the site.
With print newspapers in decline, many experts blame Craigslist for stealing one of every paper's most profitable sections, classified ads, though the folks at Craigslist disagree.
probably 90% or more of classified ads on Craigslist never would have seen the light of day in print. I mean, when you're talking about small value transactions for which, paying any amount for a classified ad is going to be prohibitive, whether you're talking about selling a used cell phone or whether you're talking about an odd job, you don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a classified ad for that.
The business premise behind a newspaper is I'm giving you information of the day, and alongside I can sell you ads. The reason the internet has just wiped out a lot of the market capitalization of newspapers, their business premise is much more powerful. I'm not going to give you just the news of the day. I'm going to give you all human information, and alongside that I'll sell you ads.
In Cambridge, Massachusetts, one small company thinks the answer to the ink-based media problem is to make newspapers all electronic to compete.
The mission of e-ink is to provide the most convenient way to read digital information. And we chose that goal because convenience is something we think there's an infinite demand for. And digital information is something we think there will be an infinite supply of.
Electronic paper was invented 30 years ago at Xerox's fabled Palo Alto Research Center. The technology itself is already on the market in the form of the Sony Reader and the Amazon Kindle, which both use e-ink to display books.